I was like, did I leave it open?
I think we're on.
I think we'll find out. And I don't know where your microphone is.
It's on me.
Oh.
I'm wearing it.
Wait a minute.
So they can hear me.
That's crazy. I am. We are.
Are we on? Are we on?
Yeah, I can hear myself laughing.
Uh-oh. Oh, I can see you.
Here I am. Oh, and I just got a fun notification. Cool. Okay.
A fun notification.
Well, I just saw an email pop up that I can mention in here.
Hi, Judy. Hi, Donna.
Good morning to my wildly creative bag assembly ensemble.
Oh, geez.
That's what Charlie said.
Hi,
Charlie.
Hi, Marlene.
I don't know if Charlie was talking to us or all of us, but that's what he called us in the group. So that's how I'm going to greet you every single Friday.
Goodness.
Isn't that fun? It's a lot of words.
It's a mouthful.
The wildly creative bag assembly ensemble. Who in the world is texting me now? I am on. Oh, my Facebook just let me know that I'm live.
Oh,
Thanks,
that was
Facebook.
nice of them.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
Why am I getting a text? No, it's Facebook. So Many Creations is live right now. Welcome.
So sign in.
Sign in. I better go watch. Okay. Well, are we ready, Miss Barb?
Oh, am I?
I don't know.
What are you
Are
doing?
Well, it's 11:01. Don't we?
What do you want me to do?
What do you want to do? What do you want to do today, Barb?
Oh, I think I want to pick a couple people for the
Of course
giveaway.
you do.
A couple
Who's
people.
in charge around here? Not me.
Not when it comes to giveaways. It's easy for me.
Okay, these are the names, and I guess this is your show, so you do your thing. So we're going to do our day 22. Day 22.
Is it?
We're done a week from tomorrow. This one went
my
super
gosh,
fast,
yeah.
don't you think?
Yeah.
Like the summer one, I felt like went on for more than 30 days. This one's gone super, super fast.
30 days is 30 days.
It is. But summer 30 days are apparently not as fast as fall 30 days. Just in case you didn't know. It must be the time change.
Because we're getting close to winter.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got a snowblower delivered yesterday.
Yay! Don't say that word here. What's the matter with you?
Okay, we have two winners.
Oh, we have two winners.
Do you want me to say or do you want to
Do
say?
it. Do your thing.
Diane Ackerley.
Diane Ackerley, now I know you did win once. I remember this time. So Diane, congrats on number 2. And who's our next winner?
Pam Eldridge.
Pam Eldridge. Pam watches all the time. I know she does. So you are our winners, Diane and Pam. Again, since it's our regular video, I will post this and email you in about an hour. And what did Pam and Diane win?
4 patterns of your choice.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Woo!
So you guys won 4 patterns of your choice. So I will send you guys an email. You can have PDF patterns or paper patterns. I will let you know that in the email, and you'll get your coupon. And don't put those bags away, because I want to do something extra special today. One of the notes I wanted to let you guys know is a reminder that the Tula Pink homemade, as well as the wide backing, so everything we have left in homemade is still 25% off on the website. In case you guys forgot that, I started that sale a few weeks ago when I was going to take it down, and I left it because I literally, as I was shutting my phone down, got a notification from Free Spirit that they sent me an invoice, which means more Tula is coming, and I have to assume that it's the new line. I don't think I have anything else in order.
What's the new line?
The black and white.
Black and white?
Actually, now I'm really curious. Let me look really quick and see, because now I'm going to tell you guys that, and then it won't be.
What are they calling that? Line work?
Line work.
Line works?
Line work. Let me see. It is line work. And
Yay.
apparently I did order pre-cuts for that. I don't remember. I don't remember anything. So I just looked at the invoice. So line work is shipping. It ships from North or South Carolina. So I would say at some point next week we will have line work. So I want to get rid of and make some room. Not that I want to get rid of Tula, but we need some room. So
definitely.
Barb knows that for sure. So homemade, including the white backings, are still marked as 25% off. The discount's already applied. I went in today and marked the charm packs and jelly rolls from True Colors. I marked these down to 30%. So charm packs are $7. Jelly rolls are $28. These are normally $40, and these are normally $10. This one says $14. I don't know what's happening. I literally have no idea what's happening right now. But This is the only layer cake that we have left. That's it in existence. And I'm not going to replenish these. So, Barb, pick a name from our 30 days. And you guys already know the prize now, but one of you is getting this sent to you in the mail.
We can get it off the shelf.
It's one more thing that needs to go, and it's yours.
Gloria Lanouette.
Gloria, whose last name I always butcher. I think Barb said it right, Lanouette. Gloria, you are getting this. So we will send that out to you, and I will include you in the email, and that is that. So I just covered a whole bunch of stuff all at once, and sorry if that was loud. Okay, so I told you all about that. We did our drawing and our extra drawing. The group has 554 members as of this morning, which is awesome. And I just wanted to also note, as usual, I ask you to like and follow the page. We've had a lot of new YouTube subscribers this week. Like almost every day I've been getting notifications, which is awesome. So if you're watching this on YouTube, welcome. This is what we do every Friday. I talk a little bit and then I demo something, and we've got lots of stuff to go over. And Barb gives my stuff away because she can, because I don't stop her. So if you're watching this on YouTube, welcome. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. I don't know where all these new subscribers are coming from, but thank you. I will take it. Maybe it's you guys. Maybe it's just the universe. I don't know. So
I got Gloria's name right.
You did?
I did.
Yay! Awesome. I hate butchering people's names because people do horrible things to my name, but some of you have really difficult last names. Like Lisa Newer. That is not how it's spelled. There's a lot of E's and U's, and I was like, I'm so sorry, but she very politely told me how to say her name. So don't be mad at me. Reading is not my forte. So a couple of things I wanted to let you guys know. Last week, I told you about the upcoming shows that I knew of that had been canceled, and I think it was Shelly who mentioned, and I forgot to mention this, about the online shows. I don't know if you guys remember this conversation. We had it like over the summer. We were talking about online shows. I had asked Barb, I had asked you guys what your opinions were, and I have to say most of you didn't have anything to say, and those of you that responded didn't have anything exciting to say, so I have chosen not to do any of the online shows. So if you know me from QuiltCon or from Quilt Festival or for any of those shows, Road to California, I'm not going to do the online shows. And my reasoning for that is this. Barb and I had a conversation that day. We were looking over how the different companies are doing online shows. I am not knocking them at all. I know that this is hard to figure out when it's not what you normally do. But to me, for me as a business to spend money and hope that all of you out there will look at it and click through, because it's not, there's no easy way to do it. You have to sit and scroll and click. I would rather put that money towards product, put that money towards, you know, other things that we can do. So I'm choosing not to do the online shows. So if that's how you know me and you're participating in one, attending one, I will not be there. I will be here on Fridays. I will be on the website and I will be on Etsy, but I'm gonna pass on those. I just feel like there's better places I can spend my money. Like Tula Pink's new collection coming in, or the canvas being restocked and the new canvas coming in. We just got a bunch of Decoville, cork. I did get the picture of the new cork. I'm very excited. We're working on that. So something really brand new and exciting is coming. The thread. We have a follow-up to the thread, which we'll loop back to, but I just feel like that's a smarter place for me to spend my money. Unfortunately, the shows are not cheap, even though they're online, so I'm going to pass on those, but you guys know where to find me, so I think we're all fine. So I had done on Tuesday, I did the drawing early because at 11, I was recording a podcast that I am doing with the American Patchwork and Quilting because I was in their magazines this year. I was asked if I wanted to do a quick little interview, so I think it's like a 15-minute little podcast about how I started and what I have coming up and what's been going on. And so that is projected to come out November 16th. As I find out when I get the actual date, I will post it and let you guys know. But I thought that was a really fun little opportunity. I've actually, and I can't say I never, I've been on one podcast? One, yes, with Stephanie. I forgot Stephanie recorded me. So now there will be two of me. I listen to them all the time, and now I'm on one. Let's see. I told you about that. And that, we did just get in a whole bunch of Decoville, so you guys that are ordering it and loving it, we just got in like 5 more bolts of it, so we're good for a while, and I will probably order more while I can, because you guys are loving Decoville, and I love it too. I just am not putting it in kits because it's been hit or miss in trying to get it, so I would rather not put it in something and then have to tell somebody I'm changing my mind on that. We still have Decor Bond. So
somebody made a comment that they totally understand about the online shows and they much rather see you here on Friday.
Exactly.
Because it's all about you on Friday.
It is all about me. It's all about Barb too. No, I mean, and trust me, as a business owner, I don't pass up any decision without putting thought into it. And that's why I had asked you guys a while ago, and that's why I've been really on the fence about it. And I said, you know, if this show does it, I'll definitely consider it. Or if this show, and then in getting the pricing and the contracts, it's a lot of money. And I'm not saying that it's not justified, because I understand that all of the technical work and all of the layouts and the websites, all of the advertising is being done by these companies. But I would rather put that into my own advertising or my own product. I just feel like it's smarter. So, you know, and if they had a different and better way of doing it, which who knows, with the way things are going, maybe next year there will be like a better way to do online shows. I've been trying to think, like, could I suggest something that would be better? And I can't think of a better way. But it's really hard to think that you pay for a ticket, you sign in, and then you're scrolling. It's a lot of stuff. And if my picture is not exciting and you don't click on it, you know, so
that's what I found.
I'm going to wait until all the glitches are worked out and they think of like this amazing thing that no one thought of, and then I'll think about doing it. So for now, shows are not happening, but this show is the Jessica show every Friday. We're here.
We're going to have to get a sign for behind the Jessica show.
And the Jessica, and lights and an arrow. No. Somebody had commented, and I think it was Patty Alfano, and I could be wrong. Somebody had made a comment last week and said, you are where you're supposed to be. You are here with us. And honestly, I believe that. And I don't know about you guys. I believe in fate and destiny, and not in a religious way. I'm not going down that road. But just in general, I think we all have a path. And if you would have told me that my path would even be pattern writing, I already told you I didn't think that was going to happen. But my path was going to be talking to you guys every Friday for 20 some odd weeks. And I forget, I lost count. I think we're at 23, 24.
I don't even know. Yeah.
I mean, I would have told you were crazy. So I love this.
Everybody agrees with you.
Thank you. You guys are so nice to me. Every Friday we are here, and Barb and I were talking about that because you know, a lot of people now are doing videos because this is the way things are right now. And we love this. I love that I have her here. She's, you know, helps out with the comments and all the things, and, you know, and it just keeps it organized. And I feel like I watch some of my earlier videos and I do laugh at myself a little bit. I feel a lot more comfortable, and I think we've gotten into a really good, a good system.
And I like giving her stuff away.
And she loves giving my stuff away. So, you know, there's that. Quick technology minute, a quick one. I send this out in emails constantly, but I'm going to put it out there so that you understand. We ship everything unless it's an Etsy order, which I don't think most of you watching order that way from me. You usually order on our website. We use stamps.com. Stamps.com is a great website, but they have their technical glitches. And it's things that I have brought to their attention that they don't have a fix for. If you have a package coming from us and for some reason it either goes to spam, the tracking, or you don't get it at all and it never shows up, not the package, the tracking, that is a weird Stamps.com glitch. It's not us. We always put your email in and we always send you the tracking, but I have brought this to their attention. I'm like, hey, Stamps, a bunch of people said they didn't get their notifications, and they're like, sorry, we don't know how to fix it. So I don't know what their solution is for that. It didn't happen for a really long time. And then lately, Barb and I have been noticing that Stamps.com has had a little bit of an attitude in not wanting to print things and then not wanting to send them. So don't ever think that we didn't send your package. Email us if you don't get something. It's not us, just so that you guys know how Stamps works or doesn't work.
I think you better clarify your shirt.
Now
somebody thinks it says booze.
My shirt says, I'm here for the booze, like a ghost, but ironically like alcohol. It does not say boobs. I just want to clear that up, Barb and Eric. My shirt says booze, like Boo, a ghost. You got it.
Somebody thought it said booze with a Z.
No, it's booze with an S. And speaking of boo scare, I have to tell you guys something.
Oh no.
My husband scared the bejesus out of me yesterday, but I got him back really good. I mentioned this a couple of times this week. I am officially working in my husband's office again. And I use the term working very loosely. I answer the phone sometimes and make some phone calls. I don't do a whole lot, but he wants someone in the office, and it alleviates the mechanics. Regardless.
Keeps her out of my hair.
She's so mean.
She's across the hall.
No, it doesn't. I just keep walking over there. All day long when I'm here, I hate silence, and I also don't like people to know what I'm listening to because I listen to true crime podcasts all day long. I was listening to, like, Charles Manson this morning. People don't need to hear that when they come in here. So I always have my earbuds in, and yesterday I was getting ready to leave, and I was like, let me vacuum quick because the floor, we have pine trees everywhere. Pine needles are all over the place. So I'm vacuuming, and the hallway between our offices was a mess. So I'm out there vacuuming, and the vacuum stops. I'm like, oh, don't even tell me the vacuum died. I am not buying a new vacuum. So I stand it up, it starts again. I start vacuuming, it stops. I stand it up, it starts again. And I'm like, oh, there must be a wire shortage. I'm like, this is so weird. Then it just stops completely. So I think to myself, did it come unplugged? And as I walk around the corner of the door, my stupid husband jumps out and goes, and scared, he scared the daylights out of me. I was so mad at him. I said a lot of F words. So yesterday, when I went to Log Cabin, we got him back. My husband calls Log Cabin on Thursdays before we do our videos just to, like, say hi and, you know, chat for a minute. So I said, tell him I'm not here. So they have me on speakerphone. I can hear everything he's saying. And they're like, do you know where Jess is? She's not here. And it's, like, after 3:30. And he's like, I think he thought they were joking at first because he was like, oh, really? And they'd say something about me. And then they're like, seriously, though, if you know where she is, can you tell her to come? Like, it's getting late. Well, by the end of the conversation, he genuinely thought I wasn't there. He was not concerned, though. Can I just say? He was not like, oh, no. He was like,
I hope she's
weird.
okay.
Yeah, you know, she might be in a ditch. No, he didn't care about that. He was like, that's weird. So he calls me. I answer the phone, and he goes, what are you doing? I go, what do you mean? He goes, why aren't you at Log Cabin? I go, I don't feel like going today. And his response was, honey, they count on you. And then I started laughing. I said, I'm here. I was here the whole time. I said, that is revenge for scaring me earlier. And he's like, yep, you got me. So tips on keeping your marriage interesting. Join me next Friday for more. So speaking of Log Cabin, next Thursday, if you're interested, we are doing another game show. It's a Halloween edition. It's going to be good. So if you want to tune in on the Log Cabin page, it will be entertaining with zero educational value. Barb, we're going to chat about thread because last week, Barb told you that she was a horrible employee and she didn't do what I asked her to do and test out thread.
But I redeemed myself.
But she redeemed herself. She went home, I think, that day and she did it. So her and her daughter-in-law tried out on a few different machines. What machines did you use? You tried our 40 and our 28 weight Aurifil.
And the 50.
And the 50, which we don't sell, but, but just for fun.
Just for fun. I have a FAF, creative expression, I believe it is.
It's a PFAF. It's a PFAF.
And it worked beautifully with, I used 50 weight in the bobbin, but I used the different ones at the top, and they came out beautifully, all of them.
And what is,
my daughter-in-law has a Baby Lock Crescendo. She used the same thread in the top and the bottom. And all three of them were fine.
Perfect.
No problems at all.
So we did our due diligence, and we tried out the threads in other places.
The only thing, we did change the needle to the bigger needle.
Yes, always with the 28 weight 90 needle, and that is written on the website. So I want to just touch base on a couple of quick things from our thread talk from last week. If you haven't been on the website, I uploaded a whole bunch of thread colors because we got a ton of them in. I said to you guys, hopefully they'll come in soon. And literally we ended our video last Friday and I got an email that said they all came in and we're sending them. That was from one company. The second company, in the meantime, also shipped a bunch of thread. So we got 6 more colors this morning that I also uploaded. And I wanted to talk to you about how thread looks on the spool versus how it looks when you're using it. And Barb has something to put in about this too. So when I went through and I picked out the colors, I have an Aurifil thread card. And I don't know if you can see, but there's little threads that I've snipped. I don't take the cork and hold it next to there. I actually pull the threads back and lay it on the cork, because if you've ever held up a spool of thread and thought this will work and you bring it to the fabric, sometimes it doesn't work because it reads differently when you're looking at a cluster of it versus a strand of it. And I wanted to let you guys know, on the website, as I mentioned last week and as is written on there, they are all matched to our corks. If they have a name that's not a cork name, I still tell you some of the ones that they work on. So if I have one like this one called Light Gray, it's not an exact match to anything. We do have a cement, which matches the cement perfectly, but it's a light gray that will work with cement and other grays. Some of them, you know, we have a medium gray. We have some other ones. We got in these really pretty purples. This one I called Light Grape. And remember, I am naming them. They're not the Aurifil names. This one I called Gypsy Purple because it was in my thread box that I did for Gypsy for my first fabric line. And I don't know what it is about this thread. It doesn't specifically match anything, but I use it all the time. I think this is the one that I actually finished a spool of. So if they don't have a name, we still give you the matches, but they're not an exact match. But I wanted to show you guys this. When you look on the website and you see these two, you might think that I am backwards and that I mixed something up, and I didn't. And Barb can attest to this. So this one right here, which looks like a really pretty deep teal color, is called Pearl Teal. It is a perfect match for the Pearl Teal cork. This one, which is probably going to look kind of gray to you, it's like a bluish gray. This one is called Teal. You're probably going to think I've made a mistake somewhere, and I didn't. This one, even though it looks on camera and it looks in the picture like it's gray, was an identical match to the teal cork. So don't assume that something will work or it won't work, because sometimes you will be a little surprised. And why don't you tell them about what you showed me this morning, and I will post this later. And remember, Barb's a long armor, so she was long arming something.
Hold this up.
Yeah. Well, if it doesn't pick up, I'll post a picture of it. But this is the quilt that she was working on. So multicolors with like a goldish background. Yep. What color thread did you use?
Orange.
Is it on here?
The thread, I don't know if the picture is on there. No, I don't think so. I'll have to take it.
Orange.
Orange thread.
And if you saw this spool, you would think there's no way that that's going to match. This is gold and burgundies and blues. The orange thread match. So don't think I'm crazy, number one. And also, I mean, I am, but in this sense, no. But also, don't judge and think that, you know, don't say, oh, this thread's not going to work. Try it out and open it up. And that was something I learned a long time ago. You can't judge by the spool. You really
when you take it out, it looks totally different.
You do that when you're auditioning things for long arming. So, you know, that was something I wanted to let you guys know. And I will post the picture of Barb's quilting and the spool of thread so you guys can see that it doesn't look like it's right. Because she said, what color do you think this is? I said, it's gold. She goes, it's not. It's orange thread. So that was that. Let's see. Before we get into what we're going to talk about today, I have a little question for you guys. And that is this. So this is a scrap bag of cork, because we did scrap boxes a long time ago. We are starting to get more scraps. This is 2 pounds. I weighed it out. So it is a mix of little strips, wide strips, long strips, short strips. It's all different colors. It's just a mishmash. I was considering putting these on the website as a grab bag, you get what you get kind of thing. But you guys loved when we did the pop-up sale. Do you want to do sort of a pop-up sale? Here's my thought. I don't want to hold this bag up and say, who wants this one? I'm just going to pack them and say, I have 20 bags, and the first 20 people that comment will get them, and I'll invoice you if you guys are interested. If you're not, I can just put them on the website, but I want to get rid of these because they take up a lot of room, and we do use the scraps sometimes, but we have so many.
Oh my God.
They're overflowing. They're everywhere. So if you guys like that, let me know.
I got a yes, scrap bags, yes. Pop-up sale.
Because these are great for little accent pieces, wallets, sometimes handles. It all depends on what you're making, so there's no guarantees of colors or sizes. But I can tell you 2 pounds of cork is equivalent to 3 of the 18 by 54s. So I'm not saying measurement-wise, but weight-wise, that's what this is equivalent to. And I didn't lay this out to see what was here.
They're interested. I want one. Yes,
perfect.
scrap bags. I want it.
Next Friday is going to be a special day.
Charlie says the first 19 who comment get them after I get the first one. Okay, Charlie, whatever you say.
Charlie, whatever you want. My wildly creative bag assembly ensemble.
Yeah.
Charlie, I gotta ask, you gotta narrow that down. It's a lot of words for me, and we all know that I'm not good with the words.
Everything is initials now.
It's the WCBAE.
There you go.
That confuses me more. Okay. Next week, I'm gonna give you a little preview for next week before we talk about this week. Next week, I'm very excited. We're bringing on the one and only, the infamous guest star, Marlene Stepano. She is going to be joining us. Marlene also works for me, but she has not been in any of the videos. She's usually watching. I don't know if she's watching today.
She is.
Hi, Mar. So she's going to come in because Barb and Marlene and I are going to do something a little special for the color selection talk. That's what we're going to talk about next week. So we kind of have a little plan. I'm not going to tell you too much, but you guys have been asking for us to talk about, picking colors. And again, if you watched the log cabin video, we did my stacked quilt in different color palettes to kind of see how each of us chooses colors and how one pattern looks different in different colors. So that's all that I'm going to tell you. So we're going to do something fun. So Marlene will be here next Friday, and we're going to talk about how we all like to choose colors, and you're going to see how, what we like to put together. So that's a little preview for next week. But for today, we are going to talk about handle hardware. So I have already talked about this in previous videos, so I'm not going to go super in-depth into assembly and demoing how each piece is put in, because there are YouTube tutorials, there's Facebook videos, there's blog tutorials for each of the step-by-step, the measurements and all that. That's already done, so I'm going to refer you back to that for the specific items we talk about. What I am going to talk about is just kind of a few little tips, and also just a general idea of this one uses washers, this one uses screws, just so you can kind of get an idea. And I grabbed 3 Kaylee bags with each of the kinds of hardware so you can see the same bag with different hardware. And I just looked down and reminded myself of one other thing before we talk about that. The magazine is coming out next Friday.
That's pretty.
Next Friday, I think. This is the tote bag. So I can't show you the magazine, but I can show you this because you already saw it in the magazine from the last issue. So this is the one that's in the magazine. This is my final project with the quilts and more. I am going to make some kits. I am working on some canvas samples. I don't know if there will be any with cork. I haven't gotten that far yet, but this fabric is gone forever. I cannot get it, and the place that I got it from can't get it. Actually, this side's better. The deer doesn't have its head cut off. Poor baby. So it's a really cute fabric. I have the information if you want to go search for it online, but I cannot get it anymore.
Are those pockets on the outside?
They are. There are lots. So it's kind of like the all-around tote and tourist tote bag had a baby. No pockets inside, pockets all around the outside. This is similar to Piper with the short handle. So it's like all of my tote bags got together.
Does it have a closure on the top?
It does not have a closure. You could add a zipper or a flap if you want to. I've given you tutorials. And I forgot one other little thing before we do that is our get to know me. We always have a get to know me, and I forgot about that. So a quick one. This should have been an obvious one a long time ago, but I don't have these things, so I don't remember. Barb's giving me the weirdest look ever. She'll understand in about 2 seconds. Your children. I know all of you have children and grandchildren. You love to brag about them and tell me all about them. So if you want to tell me how many kids you have, how many grandkids you have, if there's more on the way, which one's your favorite, you know you have a favorite. You just say you don't, but you know you do. I'm the favorite. Sorry, I'm not. But, just for fun, if you want to share that. I don't have children, which is probably why this question left my brain a long time ago. And just a little tidbit about me, it is by choice. Don't feel bad for me. It was a personal decision my husband and I made. We are not of the children kind of sort of people. I don't like cats either, and I don't have any of those. So don't judge me. It's just the way our life is. We kind of like our life the way that it is. And from what I've been told, children are very expensive, time-consuming, and it doesn't stop at 18. That's what everyone keeps telling me. So we don't have children. And little, I'm just going to, because all of you, you always, you know, you let me have my moment. If you meet someone along the way who says, oh, I don't have children, please don't make your follow-up, why? How come? When will you? Yeah. Because some people can't and want to. Some of us don't want to and don't like to explain that because it's very hard for people to accept that. I got asked on my wedding reception, like, when are you guys going to have kids? We've been married for 30 seconds. Yeah. Not soon. So
yesterday.
Tomorrow. We have it in the books. So if you want to tell me how many kids and grandkids you have, and if you have, because listen, I know 2020 is bringing a lot more children around because we're all at home. So, and was it Chris that just had a grandbaby?
Yes. Chris Gates.
Yeah. A lot of people are having more grandbabies, and they're so excited. Oh, it was her first?
I believe so, yes.
So you can brag about them if you want in the comments.
I think she's here. Congrats, Chris.
Congrats, Chris. I forgot to write that on Facebook. Barb, I already know, but I'll pretend. Barb, do you have children?
Oh, my goodness. I have a wonderful son who is 36 years old and a wonderful daughter-in-law who is also a quilter. And a long armor.
Is she the one that kind of got you into this? Like,
she did. She started this whole about 10 or 12 years ago. She started me into this thing, and they moved to South Carolina. When they came back, they said, oh my God, what did I create? Because my house is taken over with quilting.
She introduces you to quilting, and now you have a quilting business.
Yes.
You know, sometimes children do that. And this is just a side note because I happen to know this, and I think this is super cute. They have been together since they were 15.
Yep.
15.
And they're 36 now.
I don't think I talked to anybody that I knew.
They've been married for, 15. Let me think, 11 years?
Wow.
11 years, I think.
So go ahead and brag. Brag away about your kids and your grandkids, or your great-grandkids, all of that. You are welcome to. I have 2 dogs now. That's all.
So we also have I have 2 grand dogs. We have no kids either. So no kids, no grandchildren. No.
And it's fine if you don't want to have babies. But
exactly.
Please don't ask. So anyway, you know, I still miss Sam. It's still fresh that, you know, he hasn't been around, but it's been calm in a weird but good way in our house. Just having the 2 girls. They're fighting a lot. They're trying to be dominant over each other. It's driving me crazy, but it's actually been kind of nice. Like, it's been quiet.
Not worrying about
I'm
Sam
not
all the
worried
time.
Constantly. I'm not worried about medications and, you know, and him falling and all that. So, Sam, rest in peace. I miss you, but I know that you are much better off now. I'm going to kill one of your sisters soon, though. So, okay. So, I want to talk about our bag hardware. And before I get into it, Diana McCrae had started a little topic on the Facebook group last Friday, 2 Fridays ago, when we couldn't have a video because of our power outage. And I hope that you guys, if you're in the group, will add to it, keep adding to it, you know, and go back and refer to it. And Diana had just started a little kind of a tips post. Like, since we're not having a video, if you have some tips that you like to share. And we all love tips, and sometimes you don't even realize that you have a tip because it's just something you're used to doing. And Diana had mentioned something that I literally never ever thought of, and I thought it was so smart. She said when she's doing her icicles, which we will get to the hardware and it will make more sense in a minute, and putting the screws in, she uses a screw punch, which was something she had originally used for making books to make the holes. I have just gotten used to using little tiny scissors or a seam ripper, and I was like, well, that's smart. And now that I have rivets, I have a cool leather punch. So I use this. You could use that. You could use this. And I'm thinking, this is a rivet tool. I use this for that. I didn't think to cross it over. And so, Diana, thank you. That was an awesome tip. I actually used this when I was making some new samples to show you guys today. And I was like, well, duh. Why didn't I think of that? So, Diana, thank you. And if you guys are in the group, go scroll back a couple weeks. You'll see, and there's some other tips in the comments. I did not add anything to it because I give you video tips, but you know, there's little things that you do and you don't realize that that somebody else doesn't do them. So share it with everybody. Okay, let's see. So Judy Gordon, I hope you're watching. This video is for you. You had asked for it. So let me grab my bags. So we're going to talk about the different kinds of strap hardware that we have. And I grabbed these Kaylee's here, and I'll hold each of them up for you. And I'll take a picture later so you can see them side by side. So our newest hardware that we have is, well, not besides the rivets, the strap ends, which are these right here, and the strap keepers. Okay, and I'm going to show you how those work in conjunction with each other and how you can use those. So we're going to go over that. I also have, sorry Kaylee, the Icicles, which are the long ones. Haley, who used to work here, named them because she said they look like an icicle, and I was like, perfect, done. And they do. They kind of look like long, pointy icicles. So this, again, another way to anchor your straps. And last but not least are the jewels. I'm going to hold the back since the front has the tassel. So the jewels, again, another way to hold your straps, but a different shape, a little bit shorter. So we have all of those types of hardware in stock in 6 colors. We carry them in silver, gunmetal, yellow gold, antique brass, rose gold, and rainbow. And when it comes to how to select which one to use, it's really a personal preference. There is no wrong or right answer as far as which one to use. Do you?
I don't know, I'm just...
Oh, okay.
I was just looking at a piece of fabric that I don't remember.
Bart got distracted and I got distracted.
Sorry.
It's like squirrel. So anyway, when I have written my patterns, all of the patterns can be adapted if they weren't written already for just sewing your handles on. You don't ever have to use any of this hardware. This hardware just adds like an extra step to it. Now, some of the bags have it written in so that you have the instructions. Tabitha, Ellie, Kaylee, I'm trying to think. I think those are it for the moment. I can't think of any other ones. Harper does not have it written in, but can be easily adapted. And so when it comes to the strap anchors, this doesn't have the handle sewn on. When it comes to these, any bag pattern that you have, whether it's mine or somebody else's, if the handles are attached on the top or on the front in some manner, you can substitute any of these styles. It just depends on the look that you want. And if you look at this bag and you're like, I don't want those at all, I don't want any metal, I want to keep it simple, you sew your handles on the top. It's a very simple decision, but well, sometimes decisions are not easy, but it's your personal choice. So when it comes to the different kinds of styles, I don't really have like a set system. I would say like on this Harper that I showed you guys a few weeks ago, the smaller version, I went with these pieces, the strap ends and the keepers, because I felt like anything else would be overwhelming on a small bag. That was literally my only decision making. When it comes to jewels or icicles, just depends on what I'm in the mood for that day. And as a pattern designer and as somebody that makes a lot of samples to show off my patterns, and with all the shows I used to do and traveling to guilds, sometimes my decision was, I haven't used jewels and rose gold, so I'm going to use those in a project. And that's really it sometimes. So I want to just kind of show you a couple of tips. And again, all of this is already in the blog tutorials and in the videos that we've already done. So I'm not going to get super in depth into them, but a couple of tips that I want to give you guys. When it comes to putting on your hardware, whether it's a cork bag or a fabric bag, that's going to kind of determine what type of interfacing you want to use. If you are using cotton, Decor Bond or even Decoville by itself, I don't feel like that's enough. When you're putting a heavy piece of metal and something is screwed in, or that's you know, using a washer and you have to cut any kind of hole, I feel like you need more. So I always interface, and then I also use fleece. So I do a double layer. If you don't want to use fleece, you could always use 2 layers of Decor Bond. You could use Decor Bond and Decoville, but I always like to have those 2 layers because I want to make sure that my base is as stable as possible before I put hardware on it. When it comes to cork, the cork is pretty sturdy on its own, but I will usually interface it. Come on now. I will usually interface it as well, just to add that extra oomph behind it, because I don't want my hardware to rip off. And if you noticed on here on the back, the #1 tip I can give you when you're adding any kind of hardware is your measurements. And again, they're in the patterns and they're in the tutorials, but you always want a straight line drawn down from the top edge. And typically it's anywhere from 1.5 to 2 inches for me. I find that that's a good spacing for my hardware. You don't want to go too low down and you don't want to be too close up because it will interfere with your top stitching. But you always want that line right here because that's going to keep everything straight. You don't want to look and have your, you know, your pieces tilted, which, you know, it still happens, but, you know, you want to start out as straight as you can. And then I always find my center and I measure out. I never measure this together. I always find the center and I go to the right and to the left, or the left and the right, either or.
This is the left.
This is the left.
No, wait a second. Looking at it, that's the left.
I don't know what. I go to the side and the other side. But this one I just drew real quick yesterday, and I did 5 inches, so I did 2.5 this way, 2.5 that way. I find that it's more precise that way, and instead of trying to like align a ruler and figure out and do math, find your center, measure out to each side. These lines are going to be the most important part. Yes.
Charlie wants to know, can you use spot interfacing for those? He puts a piece of Peltex behind snaps, for instance.
Oh, absolutely.
Can I do something similar for jewels?
Yes, that's actually really smart. Charlie, you can absolutely do that.
But only if you try them, Charlie. It only works if you use them, not keep them in a drawer.
Yes, you have to take them out of the drawer. That's the best way to do your hardware.
I've never done them.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to get to that in a second of where I actually put my extra interfacing. It's probably a little bit different than some of you do it. But you can absolutely put like a patch behind here if you don't want to interface the entire bag, or if you feel like the options you have are going to make it too stiff or too heavy. You can absolutely just kind of stabilize right behind the hardware. As long as where the hardware is going is as stable and as secure as possible, because I don't want to be walking down the road and all of a sudden this rips off because this ripped through the fabric. And I also don't want to give that to someone and have them say, not only did I break it, but like the handle ripped off. So always over stabilize that area more than you think you should and draw your lines. Your lines are on the back. So even if you mess them up, it doesn't matter. No one sees them. So I always draw my lines. I finish the outside of my bag, only the pieces. I don't assemble. So for instance, on this, I've done my trimming. I put my accent on, then I do hardware. I don't have this assembled because I don't want to work in 3-dimension trying to put hardware on. It's better to work flat. But I also want to see how it looks before I do placement, because maybe the pattern says 2 inches, but I want to move it up a little bit. So I always finish the front and back, and then I add my hardware on. So that is probably the most important thing that I can tell you. And now what I want to do is kind of show you how each of the hardware goes in so you can kind of understand what's going to be behind it, because obviously when you look at the finished bag you don't see the backside. So I have my jewels, my icicles, I got a lot of stuff here, strap ends and strap keepers. So let me see where I started. Okay, so I'm just going to start with strap ends because that's the one that I wrote down first. So your strap ends are these right here, the bottom part. Unless you are doing something outside of my comfort zone, you are not going to see the back unless like you lift this up. So here's the thing about the strap ends. When you get them, there is a distinct front and back. There is a texture on the back of these and there's the screw holes. So you know which is the front and the back. These screws are as small as the Diva screws. So you know how much we all love those. Most of the time I don't put them in. Actually,
really?
Because I don't need to. So if you use your Gutermann glue and you glue this end on, and like on this one, this sample, I did put the screws in because I had them, but like if I end up dropping one, I'm like, well, that was a sign, I'm not putting them in, because you're not going to see them. So I put my Gutermann glue, I put a little bead on here, I slide this right on, and then I just set it aside and I let it dry. You can use a clip if you want. But no one sees the back, so I don't care about the holes. And sometimes the ends that we send you don't have a matching screw color, because some of them are a little bit off, and like the rainbow, for instance, has silver. I don't care. I don't let it bother me. The screws are not important in this, because the glue is actually what I prefer to use to hold them on. So I do my handles, I sew them, I get them all finished, I put my ends on, and so now my handle is ready to be attached to my bag. Now, I had mentioned this in one of the videos when we were talking about rivets, I think. All of my patterns are meant to be sewn. You do not have to have a rivet. And actually, it wasn't the video. Somebody had asked a question in the group because somebody else had used rivets. None of my bag patterns require you to use rivets unless you want to. All of this hardware here can be sewn on, screwed on, added. It does not need rivets. But I did add some rivets just to show you. So once I have this done, I use my ruler, I use a chalk pencil because this one I do like to mark on the front, and I get this lined up so that it's nice and even, and I sew this. And then wherever I sew that handle, that's where this is going to go. These are the strap keepers. Sometimes you'll see them called a bridge because they look like a little bridge. They really don't have any structural purpose. They're to cover up the thread. That's really all they do. And if you have like a long handle, a design that has like the handle's really long, it'll keep them down. But structurally, the only thing that this does, the only thing it's doing on this bag is covering up where my thread is. Makes it look pretty. It adds a little something. So on this bag, I sewed the strap on, and then I put the keeper on there, and that's it. But if you want, you can, I'm going to hide those for a minute. You can use rivets. You can put that in there instead of sewing it. You can also sew it if you want to add extra, extra stability. And then I put this wherever I wanted it. And I did use this punch, like Diana had suggested, to make the holes because these are screwed on from the back. So you get in your strap keepers, you get these little oval washers, and you get screws. And the screws are bigger than the Diva screws, and the screws are necessary. Yes.
I have a question.
Yeah, oh, Barb has a question.
I have a question.
Yes.
When you put it on with a rivet, if you don't use the strap keeper, will the handle swivel?
It can, but what you can do to alleviate that is you could use two, and you'll see that a lot of times in bags where somebody has used two rivets. It's decorative, but it also keeps this, like right now it's not going to, but it will turn a little bit. So if you want to make sure that you're not putting that extra wear and tear on, you can use two. And I did use two on one of the other ones. So you don't have to use rivets, but since we have them, and some of you really like rivets, and some of you I know told me that you bought yourself a rivet setter, you can also add rivets. You can also sew and do rivets if you want to just make sure your handles are nice and strong. Now on this one here, I did not put an end cap just because I was doing it for demo purposes, but I would put an end cap on this for sure. You don't have to use those only with cork. You can use them with fabric. So if you have, where'd it go? Oh, it's right here. If you have a handle in fabric, even though this is that raw edge, you can still put that in here. And you can cover that up. So this doesn't just apply to cork, okay? So you can put the end caps on either. So the end caps are going to need you to sew them in place or use rivets. And if you don't want to use the strap keepers, the strap keepers, you can just sew this in place or put a rivet in and leave it at that. So these, I use them in conjunction with each other. You can use them separately. So that's how those two pieces go on. And now I want to talk about, let me see here, the jewels. So the jewels are these right here, okay? These are your short triangular keepers. One tip I will give you, and I've told you guys this, it's also in our tutorial, when you get these, they have plastic on them that is kind of embedded into the seam around this. To get that nice and clean, either use super sharp pointy scissors or a seam ripper. I prefer the scalpel kind, but a regular one will work. And you just want to run it in that seam and try not to, scratch anything, but run it in there on the top and bottom, and then your plastic will come off. I scratched this yesterday when I was taking it off, but I'm not going to stress about it because I got to be honest with you guys, these things are not going to look perfect forever. So, of course, we want our bags to be perfect, but they are going to get little dings and scratches from wear and tear, so don't stress a lot about that. It's what happens to everything. So these come in a set of 4. Everything comes in a set of 4 because you have 2 handles and they each have 2 ends. So we sell everything in sets of 4s for the handles. These have prongs on the back. And so this Again, you're still going to do your measurements and you're going to use your washers, and these come with 8 washers. So you get these washers right here because you need 1 per side. There are specific measurements that you're going to use, and you're going to use your ruler to measure those out and draw those lines and then cut those. Again, sharp scissors or a seam ripper will work just fine. And when it comes to reinforcing, what Charlie was talking about was reinforcing this area, like with a piece of fusible or something that is added on there. What I like to do, and this is in the tutorial on my blog, is I like to pour this washer on here. I put a piece of interfacing or fleece between the prongs and then put this on because it kind of just adds a little cushion. And these can be a little sharp, and I don't want them to, you know, rub against the fabric. So I interface in between the prongs. What Charlie was saying was interfacing the piece, and you can do either or. When it comes to jewels, there really isn't a wrong or a right way, but to me, the point down always looks right. But I have had people put them in this way, and it's not wrong. It still works just fine. But it's a visual thing. To me, that looks correct. So I always call that the top.
Yeah.
And I think most people do, but I've had a couple people put them in and they're like, is that right? And I'm like, it works. It's fine. The opening in here can accommodate up to 1.25 inch handle. So if you like a wider, beefier handle, these will hold it. You can do 1 inch to 1.25 inches. The icicles, on the other hand, will be a little bit smaller. These are 3/4 to 1 inch. You don't want to go too big because it's going to get bunchy, and even the inch sometimes can get a little bit bunchy. So like these are 1 inch, and it's just like a little bunch down here. It's not much, but if these were wider, it just wouldn't look as crisp and professional, in my opinion. So the icicles are going to be for a little bit narrower handle. And the icicles go in similarly to the strap keepers. On the back, they have a long washer and they have 2 screws. And on the back of your icicle, there's also posts. And these posts that are on either side of your screw hole, it's important to also cut those holes, especially with cork, because you want those posts to go through and rest on the washer. It's going to keep everything stable and it's going to keep it from shifting. And with all of these, I add glue because I like having glue as like an extra step to make sure that things are nice and secure. Not included in this talk, but I get asked this sometimes, are the handmade tags. And since I have one, I just wanted to show you quick. The handmade tags, those just have a washer in the back. And remember, this is supporting the bag. This is just an accent. So this, I don't worry about what's behind it. And sometimes in my samples, I don't even put a washer because I'll forget it and I'll just cut it and just fold the prongs over. This is not supporting any weight, so it's not as important that you like really interface it. What I wanted to show you is what I did here. So all of these have been sewn on, but since we were talking about rivets a couple weeks ago, I made another little sample here. This one has a single rivet. This one I did 2. So if you want to add that little bit of extra to your bag, if you have rivets, you can also use them with the hardware, or you can just use the rivets by themselves to hold it onto your bag. And you kind of just mix and match and decide what look you want, because this is all personal. Some of you are never going to use rivets because it's not your thing. Some of you use them all the time, way before I even use them. It's just a matter of what you like to put together and what the outcome of your bag is going to be. I told you guys when we were talking about mistakes that on this Kaylee, these rivets are not functional. They're just decorative because I just felt like putting them on and the bag was already finished and I didn't want the rivet to go through the lining. So you can use them however you want to. Let me see if I have any other notes. I know it was a quick, you know, kind of tutorial on that, but like I said, I've done full-length videos and blog tutorials, so I don't want to get into all the measurements. And I think when Barb first started around May or June is when we did some of these. So if you look back on the Facebook videos tab or on YouTube, they're all marked, and I showed the camera exactly what I was doing in measurements, and it's also laid out in picture format on the blog. So you can get all this information. I think that's everything. Yeah, so that's just a real quick, you know, how to add a little something extra to your bag. And Unless there's any questions,
Bling
I
it
think
up.
that's everything. Bling it up or keep it simple. It's your bag. You have to be happy with it. So, and I will take a picture of these Kayleys so you can see each of them together and kind of, you know, see how things look. Because like I said, it's all going to depend on the fabric, what I feel like that day, what I haven't used and I want to try out. There's really no wrong answer, and you can skip the hardware whenever you want to. Sew your handles on. That's what I did before I ever had any hardware, because it was hard to find. So,
But you have found it.
oh, I have found it.
Lots and lots of it.
I have found a whole lot of it.
I'm still trying to find places for it.
Some of it's still in boxes, but it's okay. So, I'm going to take a sip, let you guys think if you have any other questions.
Hey, boss,
before
we need a bigger office.
We do need a bigger office. Do we have any questions?
No,
Did I cover
think we're
everything?
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh-huh. We
So-
answered them as we went along.
Perfect.
Yep.
So I'm going to post some pictures, some thread color pictures, some bag pictures. I will see you guys tomorrow at 11 for a drawing. We have one more week. I'm excited. I love it, but also I'm excited to take a break. Katie's coming to visit tomorrow. I have a customer in the shop tomorrow, so I got to clean up my mess here. And I think that's it. So if you want any of the Tula Pink pre-cuts or the homemade, it's on sale. We're trying to move it out. New stuff is coming. New cork is coming. All new everything.
New everything is coming.
And Marlene's coming next Friday. And I think next Friday is going to be a really fun talk. I think you guys will like it. I know you will. You asked for it.
It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. It's always fun to see other people's perspectives on things and color selection.
And the three of us have different
We definitely
Different ideas.
We definitely do. There are some things that I will ask them and they're like, no, but I love it. And you know, it is what it is. So yes,
Mary Lou wants to know, where do you post pictures?
right
Are
here.
you going to post them right here?
Right here on the page. I'm going to, as soon as I upload this video, I'm going to send an email to our winners, and then I'm going to post some pictures. Barb's going to text me her pictures, and I'm going to put them right on the page right here. Sometimes I put things on Instagram. I haven't been on Instagram as much lately.
I never go on Instagram.
I always used to be on Instagram, and now, I don't know. I connect with, it's very weird. I connect and talk to more people on Facebook, but Instagram, I have more followers. I don't understand. I have no idea. So I try to post on both, but it's usually duplicates. So
my son tried to get me to post pictures for Long Army on Instagram, and he did it for me once, and there's probably 20 pictures on it, and then I never did it.
I used to be super obsessed with Instagram, and now I'm not as much, but it's okay. It's a whole other subject. So I'm going to let you guys go. Happy Friday. I will see you tomorrow for a drawing. I will see you next Friday for a fun color episode, and then November, I have some fun little projects, quick little projects for you guys to make for Christmas presents and Hanukkah presents and all sorts of other presents and Kwanzaa and all the other holidays.
You going to make me something?
They're all inclusive. Absolutely, Barb.
I'm not going to hold my breath.
All right, so you guys have an awesome Friday. If you leave a comment after the video, I will get to it, and I'm going to post some pictures real soon. And that's it. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you guys quickly tomorrow and next Friday.
Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.